Hey guys, hey guys, it's Stacy, and today I wanted to share with you the VSAT method, VSOT, that I created that explains my process for investing in websites. The goal of the VSAT method is to get websites where you quickly get a return, or you know the time frame you're going to get the return on your initial investment, so you can start making profit each month from your website investments. The VSAT method is based on my experience investing in websites, and I put it together throughout my different purchases, my mistakes and my successes. I want to share it with you guys here in video format today. I also have a post on my website, her.ceo, where you can look at the VSAT method written down and get some more detail there as well. I promised I would go over how I did a bad 10K website purchase and how that has inspired the method, so I'm going to dive into there and give you guys that juicy background first. So first, full disclosure, I did not lose my full 10K. Okay, I did not lose the full 10K I put in, so it wasn't like I just lost 10K, but it was a bad purchase and I didn't fully recoup the 10K. So let's dive in there. I was on Flippa. This was my second purchase from Flippa. At this point, I was good at verifying revenue stats, yada yada. I am very detail oriented and I really dive in and notice things. So for me, when I really make an effort to do that type of thing, I can be good at it. So I knew the revenue, I knew the traffic, I knew the stats, all of that. I knew I could quickly switch ad networks, double revenue. I was like, this is hands down, this is a great purchase. What ended up happening is the site ended up being a short-term purchase. I ended up quickly doubling revenue. I made back a lot of the initial 10K that I put in, but I didn't make back all of it. And then months went by. The website was a trendy type website. It was not a topic that was going to last long term. And it's not like this was only slightly obvious. It was kind of glaringly obvious, which honestly, it's probably why the person was selling the site. So you also have to really dig into why a person is selling a website. The successful purchases that I bought, the person who is selling the website, actually each time, or the majority of times, the person has been retiring and they want cash but not have to put daily effort into a website. So the trendy app fails. My website, which is based on the trendy app, loses the traffic as well because no one is searching for the trendy app anymore. I've recouped the money I've already put in, but I didn't quite recoup the full 10K of my purchase. If you think about this, websites are a great investment because in some ways they have a lot less risk than something such as a stock. Because a website, you're getting the payments monthly, so you're recouping your investment monthly with cold hard cash in your bank account. When you buy a stock, if it all of a sudden dives down and you sell it, you've lost all of that value and it's gone forever. And if it never goes back up, all that value is gone forever. It's like a paper value. But when you buy a website, you get the cold hard cash every month in your bank account. You can do whatever you want. You can reinvest it. You can use it for your lifestyle, but you get that cash. And once you get it, it's not like the old website owner or anyone can just come and take it away from you. You have the cash. It's like real estate. Every month you get the cash. But with websites, it's more cash compared to the purchase price of something like real estate, because you can buy them for a lower profit multiple than you can something such as real estate. So that's actually my favorite reason why I love investing in websites, because there was no other asset I could buy that would have returned cold hard cash in my pocket each month, that would turn into profit after I made my initial investment back, and that could support my lifestyle. And at the time I was started buying websites, I didn't have much capital, so it was really my only asset class option, or at least the only one I was aware of, where I could invest in something that would make enough to not only return my investment in a short time period, but also pay me monthly afterwards, where I could get profit dividends from my website every single month. And my successful site purchases, I actually made both of my initial investments back in around a 10-month time frame. So after my first 10 months holding each website, every single month was and is pure profit for these sites. So my successful purchases have been really good, and I've gone on to just really focus and grow those websites as my current focus, as opposed to really buying tons more. I did just recently buy a fifth website, a much smaller one, and I used these principles to do it as well, with a big emphasis on the opportunity principle, which is the O in VSAT. Now that you know some of my background as well as one component of the VSAT method that I learned from my failed 10K site purchase, which is to really go for long-term evergreen content that's going to last forever, I'm going to dive into the VS, the O, and the T and take you through how you can make a successful website purchase using this method. The first step is verification, and if you've heard any of my other videos, you know I talk about this a lot. Verification, verification, verification. Because, as you likely know, or maybe you don't know, the first website that I bought, the seller misrepresented the profit. So I ended up kind of wasting my $1,300 buying that site, although the lesson I took away from it was, don't take anything at face value, don't trust what someone's saying about a site. You've got to get in the weeds, do the deep revenue traffic verification, and not just surface level, but really getting under the hood and making sure it's not only represented correctly, but it also has good long-term potential. This is where you're going to look at the site traffic sources. It's best if the site has a wide range of traffic sources and if it has a strong brand. So say all of its traffic is coming from Google, which is often the case with website purchases. This can be a risk that you might be willing to take, especially if you're good at increasing organic traffic from Google and if you have other experience where you can bring a new traffic channel into the mix. Maybe you could add an email list into the mix. Maybe you could add social channels that you're really good at. Maybe you're really good at growing Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or running ads to drive profitable traffic. So if you're good at any of those other traffic sources, and a site only has one traffic source, you can bring in more. So that ties in to a later opportunity section as well. So it's not a deal breaker if there's only one traffic source, and I've bought sites where really the main source has been organic, but you want there to be a mix. If there's an email list with a strong community, or if there is some type of strong social traffic or even paid ads in addition to organic, that's what obviously in the ideal world. You want to look at that, you at least want to understand where is this traffic coming from. And say a site's getting 100,000 visitors a month, and you're like, well, this is great, but you don't understand it's coming from paid ads. So they're paying for every single visitor. Once you buy the site and the ads are no longer running, or you're going to have to pay a huge amount to get it back up, you're not going to be getting any traffic. So that's why it's important. You've got to understand where the traffic's coming from, or you could make a poor decision. So verify the traffic, understand where it's coming from. Then in addition to understand just like the source it's coming from, understand the country it's coming from and the language. Ideally, you're going to want United States traffic or UK traffic, anything English speaking or more affluent country, because they're going to have the highest potential for you to either sell products and make money, or for you to run ads and make money, because ad providers like the affluent countries because they like money too, and those people can pay them and they can pay you. So it's a nice, happy kind of thing. If it's all from India, then you know what, it could be a good purchase, but you just want to understand it, and then you got to understand that you probably won't be able to switch ad networks to increase revenue or that type of thing, because most ad networks don't really want Indian traffic or traffic that from like a third world type country, because they are in the business of making money. So like I was saying, you're going to want to list, you're going to want to have like an Excel sheet, and you're going to want to really go through all the revenue sources and the expenses and the traffic sources. So you're going to want to see if the traffic is increasing month over month, obviously, or steady, and if it's going down, and you're going to take that all into your analysis. You also want to know what is the site owner spending money on, and you really want to get clear on that, because that's a huge thing. Like I said, if they're spending tons on ads or on product, etc., and they're not really representing that, you could be led into overpaying for the site. Or you could be led into thinking it's more profitable than it is. So you really want to understand expenses, and you want to understand the revenue, and make sure it's truthfully represented, revenue and profit. Just like the mistake I made with the scam site that I fell for. They had that Amazon affiliate account where they showed me all the revenue. They were making $350 a month profit, but it was from that site. It was from all of their websites, and they kind of showed me the whole umbrella of their account. And I didn't dive in to understand how much my particular site was making, and that's something that's kind of easy to misrepresent. If the buyer doesn't know what they're looking for, make sure you have a clear understanding of the revenue and the profit and the expenses and the traffic, and verify it all before you purchase a site. So the verification, the V step, is arguably the most important step. It's a very, very important step, and you need to fully understand that before you move on to the O step. The O is opportunity. Whenever you buy a website, it's unlikely that this website is completely tapped out, that the owner has done every channel, that the owner is monetizing it in multiple ways, that they've taken it to its edge and kind of pushed the limit for what it could make. This is kind of a fun part for me. So you kind of think about it, you come in and you say, okay, how could I get more traffic for the site? How could I get more revenue? How could I switch an ad network and quickly increase revenue? How could I switch ad placement? How could I add in video ads? How could I test different ad types and targeting types? How could I add in maybe a course? How could I add in my own product? How could I switch from affiliate links to wholesale, which is, I just bought a site recently where there's huge opportunity because I bought it. I actually paid a pretty high multiple compared to what I usually pay. And it's actually a French site, it's in a different language, but there's a huge opportunity to switch from affiliate into wholesale there. And it's actually a pretty high priced product and the affiliate commissions are pretty low right now. I'm in the process of transitioning that, but that's an example of opportunity. You can take affiliate and switch it to wholesale. And I'm even running ads on that site right now, so you don't have to be limited to one thing. You can do ads and then you can also sell products on it. You can do affiliate links and ads at the same time and even sell products. So you can get creative. So say, do they have an email list? They're not using it. Do they not have an email list? Could you put one in? There are so many opportunities. This is pretty much, you can get so creative. It's definitely the most fun part of buying a website is just thinking about the opportunities. However, I urge you not to get too optimistic because not every opportunity is going to work out as you think it is, et cetera, but you should always think about everyone. Just kind of spend time, sit down, list out every opportunity. Maybe you could run ads to it if they sell high value products, for example. You could even add in social channels. And then you can even think about just long term. Is this site have the long term potential? Is it something that I can grow long term? So for me, a huge part of every site's opportunity zone is SEO. I always think, what can I do to grow the organic traffic quickly and over time? So there's often linking changes you can make internally and externally just quickly to get quick wins. And then there's the long-term SEO of like keyword research, publishing every day, going in and working on the site and just helping it grow every single day for like a few years to really reach its potential. Those are some of the opportunities you can think about, and it's probably the most exciting part of the structure. Something else to think about in the VSAT method is, why do people run ads on your website? They're not running ads on your site because it's a charity or because they just want to give you money. They're running ads on your website because they're making money from it. So if they're making money from running ads on your website, how are they making money? This is actually a really cool way you can determine an opportunity on a site. So who's running ads on it, why, and what type of money are they making? Because you could offer that type of product on your site, or you could offer that type of service, or you could directly advertise your own stuff on your own site to make a huge profit increase. Get creative and have fun with the opportunity section. All right, the next step in the VSAT method is time frame. You want to have a clear understanding of how long it's going to take you to make your money back. If you're buying a site at a 20 or 30 times multiple, that means it'll take you 20 or 30 months to make your money back if everything stays as is. The key thing that I look at is, am I okay with making the money back in 20 to 30 months if that's the multiple I'm paying, if none of my opportunities work out? And you have to be okay with that, because otherwise it's not a good purchase, because your opportunities might not work out. So this is actually a really important step. And then you also have to look at, if my opportunities work out, what is the best case scenario? How quickly could I make this money back? But then you can have best case scenario, worst case scenario, or as is scenario, and then you can think worst case scenario. What are the biggest risks that you evaluated in the verification step? If one of these risks happens, does it cripple the site? What's the worst case scenario? So it's kind of good to wrap your head around all three scenarios. And then once you have a clear understanding of that, and if you're okay with the as-is time frame and the opportunity time frame, then it's something that you could consider purchasing, because it's gone through your different checks and it passes a lot of the tests for, is this something you should purchase? You know what, maybe it is. It's a great way to help you think about the website in kind of a multi-dimensional way and really dig into it and think about it currently and in the future and decide if it's a purchase that makes sense for you.